Okay, so we've talked about and seen the different types of test doubles that we can create. At this point, it's worth mentioning that there are a number of mock frameworks available that can actually make creating mock objects and even stub objects a lot easier. For example, one such Java framework is Mockito, and these frameworks make it really easy to generate a mock object or a test double for any of your implementation classes. The way these frameworks typically work is you can request a mock object of a particular type, and then they'll give you a proxy or something back which will allow you to set expectations on that mock object, which will then be later verified when you're actually running your test. Just to show you a couple of examples from the Mockito documentation, you can see how you can create some stub and mock objects here without actually having to create any new Java classes yourself. The Mockito framework is doing all of that for you behind the scenes. Now, this approach can have some advantages. It can certainly make it a lot quicker to get up and running with test code. I would say the only thing to be careful of is to make sure that your tests remain readable. Sometimes using frameworks like this, the tests can become quite convoluted, especially when using a lot of mock objects. The syntax of these frameworks can often look very unfamiliar compared to your regular application code and code you might be used to seeing. The same can still be true with manually written mock objects too, where you're doing a lot of expectation setting before you're running your test code. I would certainly recommend, if you're new to test-driven development, I would start with hand-rolling your own stubs, mocks and fakes, and then as you become a bit more experienced at writing these different types of test doubles, then start to look into some of these mock frameworks a bit more and see what value they can give you. But even with teams which are established in practicing TDD, I would still recommend that you consider both approaches, and indeed have seen many successful projects that mix approaches. So some test methods will be using mock framework, and other ones have chosen to go back to a hand-created mock where it's giving you a bit more readability in the test and it's a bit more obvious what it's testing and what's going on.